Hello everybody, this is Pervin and welcome to the App DNA channel where we talk about all things apps. Till now we have talked about a lot of apps, right from non-profit apps to productivity apps, but today I am really hungry, so let's have an app for all the foodies out there, the restaurant management app. Today I'll be talking about how we can simplify the entire process right from ordering to invoicing with a simple restaurant app that we can build with our low-code platform Zoho Creator. A low-code platform is nothing but a platform where you can drag elements, drop them, build your own workflows and quickly build and deploy apps. So let's see what are the essential steps that our restaurant management app should have today. The entire workflow of a restaurant app can be broken down to 5 essential features that any restaurant management app should have. The first feature is that the admin or the restaurateur should be able to capture all the food items that are on the menu. So whatever he wants the customers to have, there should be a form that will capture these items. The second feature is that once we know the items, the waiter should be able to take the order from the customers. The third feature is that we should have a workflow that will calculate the total price of all the items ordered. The fourth feature is that we should create a quick invoice and print it for our customers. And the fifth feature is that we should be able to send a feedback form to our customers to know the feedback about our entire food experience. Now that you know these 5 features, let's build it one by one with Creator. The first feature is that we have to have a form where we can capture the items that the restaurateur has on the menu. So let's see how to build it with Creator. Welcome to creator.zoho.com where we will be building our new app today. On the right hand side we have the options for a new application, or if you have been using a spreadsheet to manage your restaurant, then you can simply import those files and create an app for yourself. We will hit on new application. And here we'll be creating one from scratch. Now this is the app gallery where we have pre-made applications that you can simply install and start right away. We have our restaurants app here, which I'll be showing you later on, but for now we'll be creating one from scratch, and let me name it as App DNA Restaurants. Hit create, and this takes us to our workspace where they asked me to create a new form. So I'll be creating a new form to capture my menu items, and I'll start one with blank. I'm going to name my form as add item, and this takes me to the drag and drop interface that I was talking to you about. We have our data fields here that we are going to drag and drop them here to build our form today. So the first thing that I want to know in my menu items is the item name. So I'm going to use this single line field here, drag it and rename it as item name. Next, I want to know a little bit of the description, so I'm going to use a multi-line and name it as description. I want to know the type of the food, so I'm going to use the radio button here, drag it, name it as type, and the options have to be vegetarian or non-vegetarian. Now you may want to upload an image of the food, so I'm going to use an image, and then next comes the price. So for the price I'm going to use currency here and rename it as price. I'll change the currency type to Indian rupee, and our first item form is done. We have learned how to build forms with Creator. Now that we have our menu ready, the waiter needs to get the order from the customers. For this we'll be building an order form with Creator. Now I'll go to access this application where we can access the live mode of the app. The difference between the edit mode and the live mode is that the edit mode we build the app, whereas in the live mode we see our app up and running. So let's go to access this application where our item form is waiting for us. So let's quickly add an item. Let's say I have pasta. The type is vegetarian. I can upload an image. And then let's say the price is 100. And I hit submit. Every time you submit a form in Creator, it automatically creates a report for you where you can see your data. So I'll go to add item report where my pasta will be waiting for me. So here is our pasta and we have the image as well. So our first feature is done, and let's go to the second feature. To take order, we create a new form again, just the way we made the item form. We add new, and this time we are going to create a new order form. So I'll name it as new order. And this will take me to our drag and drop interface again. So this time I want to know the order type. So I'm going to use a radio button, and this will be to know whether the order type is dine-in or takeaway. So I'm going to quickly rename it as order type. And the choices would be dine-in or takeaway. Now next I want to know the table number, so I'm going to use a number field and name it as table number. Next up is the order time, so I'm going to use a date and time field for this, and we are going to later auto populate it. So let's name it as order time. Next we are going to use a very special field called the subform, which we can call as a form within a form. So using the subform will auto-populate the items so that the waiter can simply check the items and the price and quantity would appear right away in this very form. So I'm going to use subforms. So here is the subform, and it asks me what kind of form I want, whether I want to add an existing form or a blank form. I want a blank form, and I hit done. And now it asks me to add the fields. So from here you can add the fields you want. I want to use lookup, which is another special field. Now lookup is used to relate two forms so that I can call the data that is residing in another form for this form. So I'm going to use lookup, and now it asks me which form I want. I want the item form, and I want the item name to appear in this subform, so I hit done. I'm going to add the field name as item, and then I'm going to a new field for the currency. So I'm going to use currency right here, and I'm going to name it as unit price. So this will tell me the price for the item here, and then I'm going to use a number field for the quantity of the item ordered, and I'm going to name it as quantity. Next up, I want another another currency field, which will show me the total price of the items ordered. So I'm going to use currency and rename it as total. We're done with our subform. Now I want another currency field which would show me the net total price of this entire order. So I'm going to use the currency field, drag it here, and name it as net total. Next, I'm going to use the name field for the attendant and name the field as attendant. And the last, I'm going to use the customer's email ID. So I'm going to use the email and name it as customer email. So I'm done with our new order form. You hit done and your form is ready. The form is ready, but to hide the table number type is takeaway, we have to create a new workflow while using the form, new order, and I'm going to name my workflow as hide table. Add a new action. I'm going to run this action on the condition that the selected field order type equals dine in. So when the order type equals dine in, then in the field action, I want to show the field table number, and I hit save. Now conversely, I also want that on the condition that the order type equals takeaway, the field action should be hide the field table number. Now these two conditions of dine in showing the table number and takeaway hiding the table number will do our table number thing. Next, I want to set the current time, so I'm gonna add a new workflow again. So this one is also for the form new order, and this time I'm going to name it as set current time. So this is add a new action on custom action. So when the form loads, I want the order time to be set to the current time. So I'm going to use this drag and drop deluge workflow builder. So what I want is input dot order time equals zoho.current time. So this is zoho.current time is the default command that sets the time to the current time. Next, I want the net total to be 00 because when the form loads, I don't want the price to be anything else other than 0. So input dot net total equals 00. So these two lines of code, and we are done with the order time. So we are done with the form, and now when we access this application, it will take us straight to our order form. Here is our order form. So when I put dine in, the table number is visible. So let's say table number 1. But as soon as I make it takeaway, you see that the table number vanishes. So our workflow for table number is working. So let's say I'm dining in. Now here is my subform. So when I add a new item let's say pasta. You see the pasta is visible but the unit price is not visible. So we are going to populate the price for each items over here, and that would be taken care of in the third feature of our app today. Our menu is ready and our customers are hungry and they have ordered the food. Now we will build a quick workflow with which we will calculate the total price of the items ordered. To populate the price in the subform, we have to create a new workflow again. When do you want to trigger your workflow? While using the form new order, when the record is created or edited, and I'll name my workflow as populate price. Add a new action, and I want this on the custom action of user input every time I'm inputting the order items. And so we are in a deluge workspace once again. So this time I'm going to use the if loop, if for every subform. So to call a subform item, we use row dot. So I'm going to use that. If row dot item not equals null, then I'm going to use the fetch record formula here. So I will use a variable item details. Form is add item, field is ID, equals row dot item. What this line does is, this variable item details goes to my add item form and it fetches all those records which match the item that I'm currently inputting in my row. So ID is a unique identifier by creator. So we use ID to look up all the records and identify that one that we are using in the subform right now. So once I know that variable, I can easily go and manipulate it. So I'm gonna go to my rows unit price, row dot unit price equals my variable. Now that my variable knows which record I'm talking about, I can go and simply manipulate it by using item details dot price. So it's sure to auto populate it. Now what happens if my item is null? Then I'm simply going to use else. Row dot unit price will be 0 now. So if there's no item, I just want the price to be 0. Hit save and let's see if this time the price is populating. I hope you got the flow of the code. If not, you can anytime comment on my video and I will get back to you. So I go to my new order. Let's say it's just a takeaway. I'm gonna add a new item. Let's say this time it's pasta and my unit price is populating. So when I put a quantity, let's say 2, my total is not populating. So I want my next workflow to calculate the total price by using this unit price into the quantity. It's simple maths, right? 100 into 2 equals to 200. I want that to be visible here. Let's see how to do it by going back to our application and creating a new workflow again. So I'll be creating a new workflow to calculate my total. This one is also while using the form new order. Every time a record is created or edited, and let's name it as calculate total price. Create the new workflow, and this one also happens on a user input. So I'm going to go to custom action on user input, but this time every time I input in the quantity, I want this workflow to run so that, you know, for 2 pizzas, every time I put the number quantity 2, this price should be calculated. So let's see what code we are going to write for this workflow. Now I'm going to use the if loop again here. So if row dot unit price is not equal to null, because our price should not be null, and if our row dot quantity also not equal to null, so every time both the price and the quantity fields have something, this loop will run. Now I'm going to use this for each record task here. So for each my variable, okay, let's say my variable is rec. So for each rec in order items, I want my rec.total to change. So rec.total equals rec.unit price into rec.quantity. So you see, it's that mathematics that I told, that my price into quantity will give me the total. And now that that calculation has been done, I'll go and change my net total. So that would be done with input dot net total equals input dot net total plus rec total. Now this line is because if you remember, I had initially coded that the net total would be 0.0 for starters. So this is 0 and then this is the rect total. So I will get my net total, updated net total every time this for loop runs. So my price is also done. I'll go to access my application and see how my total price is coming up. So in my new order, I'm going to order some food right away. It's takeaway, add new pasta. Dated price is 100. I want 5 quantities. And then let's say my attendant's name is Pacey and the customer email .com. And this time when I hit submit, you see that the total has been populated here as 500. I hit submit and in my report I will see that my first order is a takeaway of pasta and the net total is 500. So our third feature, that was to calculate the total price and populate price and everything related to price, is done. So we'll be moving next to our invoicing. Once our customers have been satisfied, we need to print the invoice for them. So we'll be creating an invoice in the fourth feature. In order to print our invoice, we will go to this order type, we will go to this detailed record that we can see here, and here in our more we have this print option. So just click on the print option and this will take you to this link over here. So when you check out this link, this says that app.creatorzoho.com Pervin33. This is my app DNA restaurant, my restaurant name. And this thing over here, this record print to new order report, is what I need here. So I'm just gonna copy that code, part of the code itself. I'm gonna copy it for my future use. And this thing you see here is the ID. When I said you that the ID is a unique record identifier by creator. So this is the ID which will change with each record. So for now we save this, we copy it, and let's see what to do next with our editing. Now I want a custom button in my records itself, which when I click will give me the invoice. So I'm going to go to this new order report here. I'm going to go in the detailed view. In the actions, I'm going to use this plus button over here and I'm going to create a new custom action button. This one I'm going to name as print invoice. Run this action for all records. Name the workflow as print invoice, and then I'm gonna create a new workflow. Now this one I'm gonna add a new action, custom action, and I'm gonna create my own custom script. Now I want to tell you that there is a very special Deluge task which is called open URL, which opens an URL. And remember the code that I had just copied from my report. So I'm going to use that here. So in open URL, I'm going to use a default Zoho code called zoho.appuri. So app URI recognizes the app that we are talking about and then it opens the window type. I'm going to use a new window type, and in Zoho app URI, I'm going to add the copy pasted part of my link and then plus input ID for that part of ID that we had in our print, this part of it. So I'm just recreating this entire link over here through this zoho.app URI, then I'm pasting this and input.id, and I'm gonna do it on new window. This you can find in our help documents, how to open URL, and you can just copy paste it, and once you know it, it's easier. Now my custom action button is done. I'll create the menu by going to my layout, and here I'm gonna add the fields. And last I have my print invoice. So this button has been added now. And when I access my application, you see here my print invoice is visible. This time when I access my application and I go to my order report, so let's say I have my pasta here and my print invoice button is right here. When I click the print invoice, you see a new pop-up comes and I can directly print my item from the button. So the fourth feature of printing the invoice quickly is done right now. The entire restaurant experience will be futile if we don't ask for our feedback from our customers. So in the last feature, we will be sending a feedback mail to our customers through which they can give us feedback on our food. Before we can send the feedback mail, we need to create a feedback form. So I'll create it the way we had created the items and order forms. So let's name it as feedback form. And now I want to know the name, the email, and a few questions about the quality of my food. So I will just drag and drop the name field, the email field, and then I'm gonna use the checkbox fields over here. So let's say the first checkbox is about the quality of the food, and the choices would be outstanding, good, and average. And the same way we are going to use some other checkboxes. This one would be about service, response time. You can add other parameters like cleanliness, value for money, overall experience, but I'm gonna just use the multi-line field here for any comments from them. Now you can customize this feedback as much as you want, but I'm just having the bare essential. And then we are gonna use our add notes field here to add that, thank you for your feedback, to visit us again. So I'm just add that here. And hit done. So our feedback form is ready. So once our feedback form is ready, we can go and access it. And then I'm gonna embed this in a send mail task so that every time that an invoice is generated, a mail gets triggered automatically. Now our feedback form should be available to all our visitors irrespective of whether they have access to our app or not. For that purpose, we will be publishing our form. So we go to our feedback form, and then we go to the settings, where here you see publish. So here they say you haven't published anything yet, and I want to publish my feedback form. So I just hit publish. Publishing ensures that the form is publicly available. So you'll see this permalink that I have got. I'm just going to copy it to clipboard, and then I can use it to access it from anywhere. So if you open a new tab and you just click this link, you see our feedback form is available here. So you can just post it on Facebook or send it by mail. So I'm gonna write my send mail script now. So I go to my workflow, I go to my print invoice, which I've already made, and then I add a new action on this link. Custom action, create your own script. I'm gonna use my send mail task from Zoho admin user ID to input dot customer email. The subject can be thank you. Thank you and feedback please. And then in the expression and the message I can have, please spare a few minutes so that we can serve you better. And then I'm gonna just paste the link for my feedback form. So now I'm gonna hit save because my send mail task is also done, and I hit done. So all the 5 features are done, and now I'm gonna go to my public mode and see what happens the moment I trigger the print invoice this time. So when I go to add item report, I have my items. When I go to order report, I have my takeaway. So this time I'm gonna have a new order. So let's say I'm dining in table number 2. I'm gonna have pasta, and then I'm also gonna have a roti. So my total amount is 475. Me and my customer email is, and I hit submit. So I have done my new order, and when you go to the order report, see my order and then print the invoice, what happens is my invoice gets printed immediately. So I can just save it, print it, and when I go to my mail, feedback form should also have been triggered. Say thank you and feedback please. So please spare a few minutes to fill this feedback form, and when I click on the form, it takes me to my feedback form. Here I can fill it easily. And then hit submit. Now as soon as you hit submit in the feedback form, when we go to our feedback form report, you can see all the comments that our customers have given us. So the 5th feature, which was the feedback form, is also done. We have built our restaurant app now, so let's have a quick demo of the entire app so we know how much we have created today. To take you through a quick tour of the app that we have made today, let's have a new item. Now everyone loves pizza. So let's say we have pizza. Description is smoked, type is non-vegetarian, and then we upload an image. So it's just that after a lot of time we are actually getting to see some food. And this is vegetable pizza, so let's make it vegetarian. The price is 200, and then hit submit. Now you can see your mouth-watering pizza right here in the item report, so you can show your customers this pizza here and you can show them the menu. They can see that it's vegetarian pizza for 200 and it's smoked. And then you have the new order. You take the order from your customers. They want to dine in, you give them the table number 5. You add a new item for them. They want pizza. They want 2 numbers of it. And then they also want some Indian food, so they want to have roti in 3 numbers. And then they also want to have pasta. Now you have all these items, and let's say I'm the attendant. And hit submit. So the order has been taken. I eat the food, I eat all the pizza and the pasta in the world, and then when you have to invoice it to me, you go to me, you see that this one is the latest order, and then you print invoice. As soon as you print invoice, my invoice is generated here, and I hit save. I save my or print it. And then as soon as you have triggered the print invoice, you see that a feedback mail has also reached me. So I check on this feedback mail, I get this form, I fill it up, and then if I go back to the report, I can see my feedback over here. So this was a quick demo of the app that we have built today. So go eating already. Now this was an app that we created in 15 minutes. Let's have a look at the restaurant app that we have in our app gallery and see what all we can do with it. Now let's check the gallery app that we had here. You hit new application. You go to our restaurant app here and quickly install it. So this is the shortcut if you don't want to build any apps. And then as it gets installed, we will see what all customizability and the extra features they have that I could not build today in this short tutorial. So as you can see, it has a lot of HTML. It looks a bit sophisticated. You can click on the cheeseburger here and give the quantity, and the cost will appear here, and then the orders will be displayed here. So you have also options for the chef and the cashier and the staff details. You have entire servants, sections, records, bill details, orders, quantities. So there is a whole lot of inventory even here. You have tax, you have tables, you have job details. So there's a whole world out here that I have not, covered. Then there's customer representative, servant assigned. What I want you to do today is go install this app right away and see for yourself what you can do with our restaurant app in the app gallery. I hope you enjoyed the process of building this app, and I'm sure that you are hungry, so I'll just let you go away. But before that, if you have any comments and questions about this app, then just shoot them below, and also subscribe to our channel for more such interesting apps. And till then, keep making apps and be happy.